Okay. Okay. Right. So where were we? If I remember correctly, I was just implementing uh, handling of certain packets. That transition between this and the file map. This, that's not right. 3? It might be 3. Let's see. Ah, did I take care of it in here? I'm gonna swap that so it's that way. Right. But I actually should go ahead and put that together here. I can actually get rid of these two stages. So let's fold this all, make a new group, disable this group, and stuff everything else in it. Try to get these back into 2, 3. Okay. Hopefully that was its original order because these two were named the same thing for some reason. Right. So now we have to deal with the new thing that I made, which is we have to unpack a player's string. However, I think we can actually take from what, stage 6? Because it does this. Uh, However, stage 6 has uh, known strings within it that it looks for. So, rather than known positions that it acts upon. So, what we'll need to do is we'll need to actually, I think we might be able to take some of these parts. So, first thing, we make a while event. Then we have conditions to, what is it, for the length of the string? Yeah, it's the length. And what was the global variable we want? Right at the end. Player info string. Dang it. So this should be set to 0. Just in case it is. Which this should be really the only thing that interacts with that. So, right. Then we would also want to do that. We want to take this, but we want to take it from this global variable. Okay, we didn't screw up any syntax there. It's still valid. Otherwise, it would have thrown an error. There's 3 special characters we're going to be looking for. An uh, open bracket, a comma, and a close bracket. This way. When we receive an open bracket, we're starting a new thing. If we receive a closed bracket, that's the end. Uh, though I could have probably done without the open and closed brackets, but you know, particularly, I'm going to make this a little bit predictable in how we'll handle erroneous things. And that is by introducing a state which is temp dot cf state, which will keep track of our state in making a charfoid. And I'm going to temp instead of challenge. Actually, I can just put this right here. You know what? I like the conciseness that this brings. So just, even if it is repeating a little bit. So in any case, CF state will equal 0 when it begins. So we know that we're taking in the first parameter when it's 0, because we're going to increment it every time. Or rather, we're going to increment it until it gets to an invalid state, which it shouldn't get to, but then again, you never know. So what we do is we open it up and we get the player ID. Then we get the player name. Then we get the player char ID. So the first thing we get is a numerical value. 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and I think 2 to 3. Not going to be super fun. Actually, I think there should only be 2 commas. Oh, yeah, right, never mind. So this actually is a valid thing. However, it should really only need to be processed if a global variable, value of a global variable, if host is equal to 1. Okay, so temp cf state, temp string char. Right, so the first thing we need to do is if cf state is greater than greater or equal to -1, or sorry, greater or equal to 0. Also, we're going to put something here, and this should be -1. Temp cf state will be 0, and then it will uh, 1 when it hits a comma. It will be -1 when it gets here, but then this will set it. In any case, we want to go ahead and uh, this is something I'm also going to have to change it, and it's going to be equal to 0, or it's going to be equal to an empty string, which in old strings would be just a string that has a 0 at the beginning. But I imagine in newer strings it's actually a string with the size of 0, and I think that's what gdevelop uses, because in my tests before, when I was testing networking stuff, it did give me a bunch of weird characters, which were all zeros. So either gdevelop is converting them weirdly, or they actually uh, do appear that way. Considering how I had to convert between a standard string and a gdevelop string, I am imagining that the standard string is actually determining its size by a variable at the beginning of the string. Any case, I might be entirely wrong on that. But in any case, so what we want to do is we want to take the substring and we want to put convert it to a number and put it into a char void. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and make this the thing that makes one. I'll get to that later. And by later, I mean I'm going to search here for what I did. Complete. Is it under complete? No. Under get control methods. I can see that this organized itself. What even is in here? Oh, this is equipment. Just gonna change it now. Right, so would it make VoIPs? That's probably what I need to modify. So char VoIP at variable iterator. Okay, so it's invisible mechanics that it spawns in. And I just need to have that string ready. Because this has no scene attached to it. Probably should though. Okay, so then what I'm going to do here is not that. I'm not doing that. That would be a bad idea. This, however, may be much better of an idea. That way, if it's not currently valid, then we can modify it. But if it's valid, we know not to modify it. Right. So when we encounter the comma, we need to right. So actually, just gonna do that. Move that there so that way. But this should go ahead and give me the context that I need. Modify a variable. The variable that we're modifying today is prefix probably. We're setting prefix to the to this. Also, we're moving this down here. Actually, we're moving it there. I want this to perform whatever it's going to perform, and then this to come after it, in case I have to add other things between. There we go. This number should be between 0 and 255, as well as this one. This one is going to be between 0 and 65,536. Wait, no, that's not right. And this one is a string of variable size, somewhere between 0 and 20, though. Yes, I know it's not valid because I didn't select that, but I didn't want to have to re-enter all of this because it reverts changes to when you open the prompt. Okay. So this should be what I need here. Now, I don't want to use the charfoy for anything outside of spawning. So what I need to do is find, is it 2? It's 2. I'm going to find this and determine what I need to. I just need to copy one thing though. This, this is, hmm. Actually, this isn't a string, so we need to. There we go. Okay, okay, so this is a string. I should have realized that. Okay, simple fix. Though, what? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Right. So actually, this only now stands for this because it used to be that because I wasn't really able to identify who was who when using gdevelop's networking, I had to just basically give every client a prefix at the beginning of a connection. This would just be some random string of letters and numbers, but then when you actually got your player number, it would just be player 3 or player 5 or something like that. Uh, Now, since I am using my own connections, I can individually identify who's sending what. Which means that one person can't mess with another person's character by just pretending to be that person, since the server will know that no, you're not the person that uh, this connection. You're not the person that you're trying to pass yourself off as. And in fact, it wouldn't really be possible because I don't think I'm going to include like what player I am. as a field. It's just going to be based off of what connection it comes from. Any case, right. So these two are strings. These two are not strings. Does that work out here? Yeah, it works out here. Uh, this one was made just now, so I don't need to worry about having it match up, but certainly should go ahead and have it down here too. Although I should also uh, make sure that this only applies once. All right, and let's see. Uh, Also, network needs to be. So network is a bit of a different variable from networking able, which is whether or not it's currently using the network. Whereas networking able just means that the networking library is loaded. I think actually that should be about it. I might have to do something for first. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. Make FOIBs. Well, that's handled here and here for everything. Mm, that is something I should probably have considered. Yeah, this should have been here. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, then we have get player names, we have that. Get player characters, we have that. Get IPs and ports, that is not necessary anymore. Get control methods, that actually should be implemented. Why didn't I think of that? Huh. Okay. A slight edit. So now, no matter what, this is always going to contain one space, even if you're the host. Each entry will contain one space. If you're not the host, then it will contain two. Right. Valid of charfoib is equal to 0. Oh, wait, no, that's just to set all of these things. Actually, I should put this under that. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained, I suppose. Right. So that should now give me a space for this, but that leaves me with, because I think it comes in two parts. You know what? There. Two or three spaces, depending. For a network game, this could just be autofilled on uh, autofilled by your current preferences, as noted in where is it? these two variables. Okay, so temp CF state. Sorry, again, apparently these don't actually increment to each other, so I need to fix that. CF state, CF state will equal 1. Actually, I should go ahead and do this in reverse order to avoid collisions with 1 uh, comma destroying everything. Okay, so above 0, uh, which actually this didn't need to be moved. CF state is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, that's in reverse and thus necessary order. So with these two, was it control method then control argument? We'll look at player for a second. Controller conversion. You see, I like to do a virtual controller so I can just map everything to that. Makes it easy to not have to worry about configuring a bunch of different control styles in a bunch of places. I can just do it here. Right, so it's controller method, then controller argument. Here it's control method, and then the joystick used is control argument. This might actually not work as well as I want it to. I could actually fix this though. Uh, what I would do is I would take this and do that. And then this would have to be, if it's equal to 1, then I would have to invert that condition to get 0. This should work, but I don't know. Because this should give it the context needed to select just this character, whilst I'm worried about the trigger once while it's true. And then this will identify that it's greater or equal to, just so that way it doesn't get stuck at a value of 2 if you manage to do a frame perfect button press and release. Right. Any case. Yes, it's recompiling play code now. Any case, so we have to get control. What is it here? Is it control arc? Okay, but there's no there's. But furthermore, that goes up here where this one is control method. If I remember correctly, that's how it's here too. Yes. There's just two slots of equipment, right? Okay, no, there's five. Why did I do this? Well, I suppose for support, I'm also going to put five here, which is not going to be a fun thing to do. Actually, I realized that I might be able to get away with something. Ooh, that's a weird sound. Uh, so right here I have it separated by a third W. Oh, yeah, I have it separated by a colon, which I suppose that's neat. Yeah, I could probably just copy this. But I could also go ahead and have this at a fixed length of 5 bytes. Now I'll copy from here. But then this also needs another event, which is if this is equal to colon. Actually, I can see a flaw with this already. It's right here. So what I need to do is I need to identify that it is not, in fact, these things that I don't want it to copy over. These should all be invalid for a name, and the other variables shouldn't use these anyways. How much time do I have left? Huh. Right, so temp string char, colon, brackets, and or comma, brackets, and a colon. So if it's 6, but we have to modify these. Right, so a this should actually get from this. I've actually been thinking about one thing. And it's API implement or yeah, API implementation into Vertebros. And the idea would be that if I had implemented if I implemented Discord API, then you could join someone without having to like ask, oh, what's your IP address? What's the port you're using? Uh, Things like that. But I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to go through with it, just for a bit of consideration on the things I'd have to agree to. I don't know how I feel about that yet. Perhaps some more time will let me make a better decision. So I'm not going to be too hasty about it. Actually, yeah, this should give a. This should give me what I need. However, I do want to get this instead. So I'm going to wait. Can I? First, that's not necessary. Then this. So this should go ahead and set this to its necessary. What do I actually do with that? Right. Okay. So I do this. Okay. So this should mostly be working, but I can't just do a simple string replace because part of this needs to be the same, and it's also the same as what I need to replace. That is, I can't just char. However, I could go ahead and do something else. So I can't replace charfoib with temp, but I can replace charfoib dot with temp dot. Only the selected event. There we go. And nothing else is hurt. Okay, yeah, so this should then be everything. And if there is no equipment, you don't have this part. But also, I guess you could just close this at any point in time. It wouldn't necessarily hurt it. Right, actually, there is one thing I need to do. So for control arg and control method, I need to do something similar to what I do here. which is not that. That's not what I wanted to do. So this would mean that I can replace that variable with this one. In any case, this should then grab the control method and control argument from the global variables if it is you, thus replacing whatever incorrect information might be elsewhere. Because this doesn't copy over any information related to player controller information, since you don't need to know how the other players are, what the other players are playing with. Right. So then we have I think that's actually it though. Uh yeah, okay, so first uh we do make the foibs and we do this. We get the player names, we get the player characters, we don't need the IPs or ports. We get the control methods, and even set it correctly in the case of a local player. And we get the equipment. The only thing that we don't do is actually complete, which we can just do right after this. This should go, this should be in one shot. What is Charfoib A? Why is it here? In any case, that should give me what, it should give me everything that I need. Uh, yeah. Though in map, I actually need to see. Uh, build map stage symbol, character info, spawn characters, spawn objects and items, build frames, reconnecting, which is stage 5. The idea was that I was going to be using the gdevelops thing, but I guess I'm just going to be I'm going to change the order of this. So map manager stage 6 is now going to be map manager stage 5, and map manager stage 5 is going to be map manager stage 6. The reason why is because I want everyone to be able to start moving as close to each other as possible in time. That is, whilst the server technically does have an advantage in this situation, the clients will should not be too far behind in when they start moving, uh, because everything should be it should be triggered by a single packet, so everyone will be like something like that. It might not have been a good audio demonstration, but in any case, the it's probably not a good name. Uh, the idea is that do I actually have but I'll rename this to stage 5. The I have to also change this. Also gonna have to do that in here since there's no networking. I don't really feel compelled to change it. Oh boy, is it compiling? Isn't it? In any case, so we'll need to actually add stage 6. And what we want to do is we want to wait here until we get a packet otherwise. Unless we're the network host, in which case we send a packet out to everyone. But this does bring up an issue. How does the how does the host know when everyone's ready? Because we want to start at the same time. We don't want someone to be able to start moving around before another person. We want to all be able to start moving exactly at the same time. Of course, we can't do that because of lag, but can get as close as possible. The thing we want to do then is we want to have these two. Or actually, no, we don't want those as dependencies. It's these two that we want as dependencies and those others as includes. As weird as that may sound. Okay, so what we do is if we are the advanced variables value of global variable, if we are the host, then we first need to receive packets from everyone. If we are not, then we need to send in a packet, just one, and uh, wait for a packet to arrive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have I'm going to have this. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this will necessarily activate because this it would be multiple frames before it gets here, which if I had global host is equal to 0, this might say, oh, well, it was 0 last frame, so nothing to do. So variables, value of a variable, and this should allow for something that is going to send a packet, and then this is going to be receiving a packet. I had it right the first time. Right. I'm just going to give these what I want from them. And in here, I'm going to have to do this again. Reason why I'm not copying this over like I would do with my other code is simply because gdevelop will flip out if I do. I'm actually going to remove the. Actually, I don't think I can. I think the new line has to be there, otherwise it will try. It will because I think what it does when it forms the code here is it puts this on the last line. So I could go ahead and do something like this. A multi-line comment that's not even taking up a whole line. I mean, it is here, but it's not technically taking up a whole line. Since there's a closing bracket that then gets inserted on the end of the line. How much time do I have left? Ah, not enough, but I'll at least do some planning. Okay, so 0A will be ACS. Should probably also mark this as SC. SC. Okay, I got this right. I thought I was just going to write SC for a bunch of these, but no. This is the third CS packet. So this will be most of these packets actually do not use uh, nearly enough data to justify the size of 500. And including this one, which uses nothing. As well as this one. I'm going to plan for a little bit longer. So then 0x0b is C start. actually, I could go ahead and use a timestamp for exactly when I want the game to start. But then I would have to also sync up timing and everything. I'm not entirely sure if that's worth it. I'm going to have 0x0c being client to server for player control. And it's going to be probably one of the more. It's not going to be nearly as big as some of these other ones, but it's going to use up a bit of data, especially compared to the last three packets. So at 0x00, we want to get the player's X position. 0x01 will be the Y position. 0x02 will be. Actually, I should go ahead and do more than. Because this will not allow me to move around too much. Okay, so. Uh, Also, this should be a different format. Oh wait, no, that's correct. But this needs to be indented with tab. 0x00 to 0x0. I'm just gonna do a little Google search. Is it 64 bits for a double floating point? Okay, so that's a pretty big number that I could not fit into an integer that I'm probably going to end up using. Uh, because floating point numbers can go really big and really small, but the more the bigger that you go, uh, the less precision you have. I don't know how to spell precision. Precision. Hmm. Okay, but I'm looking for like where is a uh, reasonable amount. And you know what? I should probably figure this out a different way. So let's assume that uh, I want a map that goes up to 2,000. tiles in each direction. All right, so we're gonna get the calculator out, and we're going to do a little bit of math. Not too much though. So we need 2,000. We need to be able to go from 0, 0 to 2,000 tiles out, and each tile, because I'm the one who made all of them, I would know, is 128 technical actual pixels wide. Though in game it's more like they're 32 pixels wide because I use 4x4 pixels stylistically. So that would give me 256,000 uh, pixels that I need to be able to traverse. Now, I'm going to pull up another calculator here so I can just look at the number. I need to find how many bits that I need to describe my position between 0 and 256,000. I know that the 0 or a 32-bit number should be able to do it, but can I do it with a 24-bit number? So first with an no, hold on. Standard raised to I guess it doesn't have variable exponent. Okay, 2 raised to the 8th power would be 256. I mean, we're 1/1000th way there with 256, but I don't think that's quite what we need. So 2 raised to the 16th will also not get us there because it will be 65,536. But we're getting closer. So I wonder is what about 24, which would be 3 bytes long? Ooh, not quite. Not quite. So it would have to be 2 to the 32nd power, which would be well over the amount that I need. But what if I divided a byte in two? I could go ahead and have the top half of an 8-bit number be for like the X position and the bottom half for the Y, or I could have it the other way around. So, oh wait, hold on. This is the number, not this. Okay, so is did I? Okay, yeah, no. So 24 would actually work. Sorry, I was thinking, oh well, there's not nearly enough because it's not like 256. Not realizing that was a third comma space, not exactly second comma space. So hold on. So between 24 and 16, or 16 and 24 would be 20, which also does in fact cover it. So I could go ahead and contain the player's position within just 5 bytes. But I'll be a little bit generous and include a 6th byte so that way I don't have to worry about decoding errors. Actually, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 4, 0, 0, 5. These should be enough to accurately describe a player's position within the intended map coordinates. I generally don't expect a lesser coordinate, but perhaps it would be wise to check the highest bit and also mask it away, and then multiply the number by -1 once it's in the gdevelops format to get a final number. Though that would hold on, this was 24 bits, right? So I'm going to 2 times, or 2 raised to the 24th power, which actually, hold on, 2 raised to the 23rd power. Okay, yeah, that's the same. Just wanted to make sure. Uh, so yeah, it should still cover it. In fact, it should well above cover it. I'm not entirely sure if I want that to be signed though. I imagine 2,000 tiles wide is probably the biggest the map would ever have to be. In fact, getting it up to that requires building for like it's easy to run out of space when you have only 100 tiles, but mm, uh it's a lot harder to run out of space when you have like 200 tiles. I imagine like doubling that is going to be comfortable enough for anyone to fit an entire map into. And that is 200, or sorry, 2,000 in each direction. So if you're like, oh, but I need to add extra floors, you have a whole lot of space to do it. And also, I think the maps that would be that big would require a lot of time to actually open up. May be in my best interest to actually come up with methods of compressing and or otherwise storing efficiently. Maybe instead of just directly writing down the data, I can store some extra things that would instruct how to build a map that has some repeating patterns. Okay, so 0x06 would be the next byte, and because I need to transfer the controller state, I can I can probably pack that down. So what are all the things that I need to take a look at? ABXY, LR, uh, up, down, left, right. Okay, so it's already going to be like 3 bytes. Or sorry, ABXY, up, down, left, right should be 1 byte. Then LR would be another. Or you could mix and match whatever. Maybe it's ABXY, LR in one, and then up, down, left, right in. There we go. Uh, that should, I think that describes about most everything. I guess also, maybe I should move this over a bit. Hmm. I guess there wasn't as many bytes as I thought that I would have needed. But perhaps I should look in play code before I make that assertion. Let's see. Do I still have everything in here? Right. This would give me a range of 0 to 127, and then whether or not I'm actually playing it would be the eighth, or the would be bit 7, the most significant bit. Information. So it does try to receive the buttons, but I don't think I'm actually going to send them. What does the host have to say about this? It's getting close to midnight. Uh, what's networking? And I already know that I had passed the timer a while ago. Quite a while ago, actually. Okay, so yeah, I suppose it's fair. Ability. That is a lot of stuff that I am sending. I don't think I'm actually going to need ability parameters 1 through 8 or ability target, but I don't know. Maybe I'm going to use them in a future thing. Charge channel 1, 2, and 3 are indeed used, but charge channel 4 is not. And wait, well, okay, so I think this should be just about everything related to player control. See. Yeah, actually, I don't send the button states to the clients because that's not necessary for them to know. All right, send value characters.x, characters.y. I'll send along ability charge. You know what? I'll figure this out later. All right, it's been fun. If you are watching this stream, thank you. If you're watching later on YouTube, thank you. It's going to do it for me tonight. So until I see you again, this is goodbye.